So welcome to our Tuesday night yoga therapy class. And this class is a supine class. And tonight we are focusing on mind and emotions and the whole body. And you can leave your video on or you can turn it off. So just finding your place. Start with bending your knees and your hands on your belly. Inhale the belly into the hands. Exhale, draw it in, make a ha sound. Inhale into the hands. Exhale, draw the belly in, make a ha sound. Keep this going in your own timing. A few more breaths. Now add humming if you like instead of that ha sound. It's called Brahmari Pranayama. Humming on the exhale. And if you like, you can add om, or you can keep going with the humming. Pull straightening the legs. Otherwise, you can keep them bent. You're going to inhale, bring your arms up. You can bring them to a pillow behind you, a bolster behind you. You can bend your elbows like this, or bring your hands to the ground. If you can, bringing the chin in. And exhale, bringing your hands down. Each time you exhale, can you lengthen your exhale by a second? Or maybe every 2 times, but this time just every exhale. So counting your breath, inhale 4, for example, exhale 6 to 8, maybe even longer. Keep
keep this going your own timing. Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat. Just rest for a minute. That's a great practice to do just before you go to bed. If you have a hard time falling asleep, you can just lengthen the exhale, and sometimes I do every 2 breaths, just add that second of exhale, that extra second. Just resting for a minute. Okay. So inhale, let's bring our right arm up. And exhale, bring the right leg in. The left knee could be bent if you prefer. Inhale, extending. This is for the lower back. And exhale, drawing in. It's also for the legs and feet. In particular, if you flex and point the foot, so as you inhale, you can point, and then exhale, flex, or the opposite. Now, after doing that 4 to 6 times, just switching sides, exhale, bring the hand down. Inhale, other side. Point the toes if you like as you do that inhale. And exhale, flex the foot, or you might point and flex as you inhale and exhale. It's also great for the knees, cracking of the knees, and you can use the core, especially if you slide that foot along the floor. And just finishing up. And release. And relax for a minute. When you're ready, bend the knees. And take a block or a pillow and put it between your legs. Just start by exhaling, squeezing the block, tucking the tail under. And inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze the block, tuck the tail under. And inhale, release. Feel feel the movement of the pelvis as you exhale, tucking the tail under, squeezing. Now hold after exhale here. And inhale, release. Exhale, tuck the tail under. Squeeze. Hold after exhale. And inhale, release. And keep that going. Okay, we're gonna add a lift to the next one. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're gonna lift just the hips up, squeeze into the block. Then inhale, lift the hips further. And if you like, you can also add the arms. Exhale, coming down one vertebrae at a time, upper back, middle back, lower back. I'm leaving the hands up at the end of the exhale, bringing them down. Inhale in the position. Exhale, squeeze the block, tuck the tail under, lift the hips up. Inhale, adding the upper back, breathing into the chest, into the belly. And exhale, rolling down. Inhale in the position. Exhale, squeeze the block, tuck the tail under, lift just the hips off the ground. Inhale, press into the feet, lift higher, bring the arms up. And exhale, rolling down. Last time, inhale in the position, exhale, squeeze the block, tuck the tail under. Inhale, lifting the hips up, arms overhead. And exhale, rolling down. And bring the knees into the chest. Exhale, draw the knees into the chest without the hands. Inhale, bring the knees away. Keep that going. Now you can do this one side at a time if your lower back prefers it. And if you bring the feet all the way down on the inhale, it's much harder working the core. This can be very grounding for the body mind to work in this core from the pelvic floor to the belly. It's also good for the back. Constricting the throat as you inhale and exhale. And then hugging your knees. Moving into the hips, feet down, feet apart. Inhale at the center, exhale, bring one knee down, leave the other one up. Inhale, center, exhale, other knee down, other one up. Just keep this going side to side and try to bring the knee towards your big toe. So when working with mind emotions, there's many, many different things we can do. One thing we can do is really ground. So that's what we were working on earlier with all the knees to chest and pelvic tilting. And the other thing is we can work into the hips. This seems to be a place in our bodies that we store stress, stressful thoughts from the present, from the past, and fear of the future. We can hold on to it in this area of the body. Now we're going to bring the knees side to side. Inhale in the center, exhale, bringing the knees to one side. Inhale, center, exhale, knees to the other side. And then when it's comfortable, you're just going to stay on one side and breathe. And just keep going and just. Zoom is asking me to do something here. Okay, I hope you can all hear me okay. When you're ready, switching sides. Coming to the center. We're going to also cross the legs and work with the hips that way. So crossing the knees, if that's comfortable. You could also just cross the ankles if it's not comfortable. Inhale here, exhale, coming to one side. Inhale, center, exhale, the other side. Make sure you have enough room. So you go side to side. And switching sides. Inhale, center, exhale, go to one side, doesn't matter which one. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. And just finishing up. So that went a little bit more into the lower back. Now let's just do a counter pose. Exhale, knees to the chest. Inhale, legs to the sky, arms overhead. Exhale, knees to the chest. So you can just do that very simply or adding on. Inhale, legs up, arms up. Exhale, touch the toes down. At the end of the exhale, draw the knees in without the hands, really drawing in from the pelvic floor up to the belly button. Inhale up, flexing the toes towards the nose, and exhale, release. Keeping the eyes closed if you can, as you do these supine poses, to keep the energy in, to keep the prana in. When you open the eyes, it's one of the gateways of energy leaving the body, according to the yogis. So if possible, we keep the eyes closed, if that's comfortable. Stretching the legs long, you can stay in Suptasana with your feet parallel. You can let your legs roll out. And just rest here. Okay, we're going to work with the hips, opening the hips one at a time. And again, this is working with this second chakra area, which is big area of emotions for the mind and body. So we're going to inhale, we're going to open up the left or the right leg. You choose which one. Same arm as leg or opposite. Exhale, using the core strength to close that hip as you bring your hand down by your side. Ekapada Supta Baddha Konasana. Inhale, other side. And exhale, gathering to the center. Just keep this going side to side. I invite you as you do this to play with the Yoga Sutra that talks about pendulating between opposites to come to a neutral perspective. So if you like, you can think of a stressful thought or person or idea on one side. And then on the other side, try to think of its opposite, something that's more peaceful, a more peaceful perspective on that person or situation or thought. So usually I do this with some sort of reoccurring idea that keeps jumping into my head. I just work with processing it this way. And if you don't want to do this, you can simply do the movement. But if you want to add that cognitive piece, I invite you to do that. Sometimes it's easier to start with another person. You can also work with ideas you have about yourself. And just finishing out. Now, can you think of something that's in between those opposites as you open your hips? So, for example, peace or joy or balance. And you might want to say to yourself, I am peace, or I am balanced as you inhale and exhale. You might want to say peaceful or joyful. Just make it your own. Just saying that same affirmation as you inhale and exhale, cultivating a neutral perspective between the opposites. The goal of yoga is to get to this neutral place between the opposites. If it's comfortable, you can stay in this open position. When you do that, you might want to add some props under your hips to keep the opening even. So 2 blocks that are the same size, or 2 pillows, or 2 books that are approximately the same size, or you could put a bolster underneath your knees crosswise. And just staying here, the arms could be overhead or by your sides. And again, just repeating that affirmation, an affirmation of neutrality. So using the word peace or harmony or joy, stillness, present. Inhaling from the chest to the belly, exhaling belly to chest. And when you're ready, just resting, arms by your sides, stretching the legs out. It can be parallel or just turned out naturally, or you could put those blocks or bolster underneath the thighs and just rest. Inhale M, exhale peace. Just as you observe the natural rise and fall of the breath, inhale M, exhale peace. And when you're ready, moving to our next set. We're going to grab a bolster or a pillow, bed pillow, and put it in the middle of the mat and under your hips. Just make sure it's in a comfortable place so when you bring your legs up, your back feels really comfortable. And this pose is called Viparita Karani. It's an inversion. You can do it without the bolster, but this adds more of an inversion. So you can do it with a bed pillow. You can do it with 2 bed pillows. When I travel, I do it with 2 bed pillows at hotels, for example. So in this position, when you're ready, you're going to inhale. You're going to bring one leg down at a time. So inhale, bring your left leg down. And exhale, bring it up. To try to use your core strength as you bring it up. And as you exhale, you can bring your feet to here or slightly towards your face. And then do the other side. Inhale, extend, pointing the toes. Exhale, flexing the toes, coming back, using the core strength to move your legs. So these inversions are a very quick way to get us into relaxation response just through changing the position of the body, which is a wonderful thing to do, especially when the mind is in a loop, in some sort of loop of worry or stress that you can't think your way out of with your mind. Sometimes it's hard to use the mind to overcome the mind. Sometimes the body is an easier access point to calm the mind. Now, this can be contraindicated for heart problems. So if you have a heart problem, you might want to do this just bringing your legs to here, not all the way back. That might be too much, or not using the cushion under the buttocks. Just notice if there's any palpitations or strange feelings in your heart as you do this, if you do have a heart issue. Inhale from the chest to the belly. Exhale from the pelvic floor all the way up. That's working with the hips and the legs as well. Now we're going to bicycle the knees in. So this is related to Akunchanasana, which is something we do in shoulder stand. Inhale, extend, exhale, bring a knee in. And if you like, you can hug that knee, which will work the lower back as well. Or you can bring both knees in. So one leg at a time or both. You can point and flex those toes. This really works with the Apanavayu, that downward flow of energy. When you're bringing your knees into your chest and inverting, you're really getting into that pelvic floor to belly button area, which is for grounding and relaxation. Now staying in the full position. And just staying here and breathing. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Hold after exhale, draw everything in and up. Inhale into the chest, into the belly. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Hold after exhale. And inhale into the chest, into the belly. Counting the breath ratios, preparing for pranayama. If you can, hold after exhale, half the length of your exhale or the same length. Inhale and exhale, equal counts. Hold after exhale, half the length. If your feet start to tingle at any time, just bring the knees into the chest and take a break. So for example, I'm doing inhale 6, exhale 6, hold 3, inhale 8, exhale 8, hold 4. On the hold, you pull up pelvic floor all the way to your belly button. Pull in and up. Yeah, you're ready. Release those knees down to the chest. It's comfortable stretching one leg out, hugging the other knee in. I'll deeply stretch into the psoas. Just stay here and breathe. And other side. And both knees coming in. Grabbing your belt. Placing your belt on your left foot. Stretch your leg to the sky, the other leg out. Extending away. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the knee into the chest, so this is getting into the legs, the feet, and the hips. And if you like, you can just stay with that leg straight and breathe here, or you can keep it moving. And also, as you exhale, try to bring the foot a little bit towards the face. Inhale, you can point the toes, bring the foot away. Or you can bend that knee, exhale, and inhale, straighten. And switching sides when you're ready. Again, you can inhale, extend, exhale, bend, or inhale, point, exhale, flex. Try to bring the foot a little bit more towards you, or just stay in the position, any of those that feel good for your body. It's working the legs, the feet, the hips, the lower back. Again, these are areas where we can hold a lot of stress, emotional stress in our bodies. When you're ready, both legs up. Exhale, bring both feet back towards you. Inhale, legs away. Or you can release the belt and just stay again in Viparita Karani for our final inversion. And at that hold after exhale again. Inhale 4 to 10 seconds. Exhale the same. Hold after exhales half the length of your exhale. Engage the bandhas, Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor lock, Uddiyana Bandha, the stomach lock, scoop everything in and up. This is great for immunity and for lymphatic drainage, for encouraging the venous blood return to the heart. And resting the breath. Bring the knees into the chest. The knees. And release. Release the bolster. The pillow. And just lie flat on your back. A few breaths. Maybe in Sukhasana, like I'm doing with the feet parallel, or Shavasana, let the legs roll out. Just notice any sensations you have from the waist down, lots of work on the legs, on the feet, on the hips, lower back, and the waist down. You can stay like this, or if you would like to add a bit of a chest opener, I invite you to use your bolster lengthwise like this. You can use a rolled mat, use a couple of blocks. Just making sure the edge of whatever you're using doesn't go beyond the bottom of your rib cage, and that your head is on the top of whatever you're using. You can also put a pillow under the head. The feet can be at the wall like this. And you can also put an additional pillow or block underneath your buttocks to take some pressure off the back. So, or put blocks under the thighs. So just resting here in this chest opener. If you have a blanket, you might want to put that on because it's a little cooler today on the West Coast. Depends where you are. In whatever position you've chosen for yourself, just resting the breath. And you can go back to that mantra of neutrality. Inhale am, exhale peace or joy or presence, light, some sort of neutral word beyond the opposites of good and bad, right and wrong. Just notice the mind's tendency to constantly move, pendulate between these opposites. Nature is also pendulating between the opposites. The whole of nature, including our mind, is constantly moving between these opposites. So we can work with that. It's called Pratipaksha Bhavanam in chapter 233 in the Yoga Sutras, and it means cultivating an opposite perspective. So whatever you think, challenge your thoughts with the opposite. Turn it upside down, as we did today. Turn it on its head. See if you can experience that opposite. Now going beyond the opposites to that neutral sama place, that balanced place, that place of ananta.
And when you're ready, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Namaskaram. Thank you very much. Take your time and stay here a little longer. If you don't feel like moving. And you might need a counter pose if you've been in that back arch of child's pose or something. So keep that in mind. Thank you. Have a good sleep. I hope you feel turned upside down in a good way. Sometimes it's good to shake it up. All right. Take care. See you next